Okay, guys, I wanted to talk about the lone wolf mentality, man. You know, these guys that think they're pretty rough ain't gonna take everything on their own. If you look into the past, the way people group up, you know, marauders, gangs, you know, whatever, just people looting stores or houses and stuff. They gang up to do something, right? They realize one guy smashing into a house may not be able to do much. One guy smashing into a store may not be able to do much, right? But a bunch of them can. You know, why do you think riots are such a big deal? Right? If one guy was trying to flip over a car, how far do you think he'd get? Right? Probably smash a few windows before he, got whooped the hell out of, or the cops get him or something. He wouldn't be able to do much. That's controllable, but a group of people, not so much. Now, of course, most of you guys have rifles like I do. And yes, I mean, my rifle has 30 rounds in it. So theoretically I can put down 30 people. But, I mean, that's not going to happen. That's assuming you don't miss a shot. That's assuming every shot, is in a vital place. That's assuming you don't miss at all. That's assuming one guy that you already got doesn't get in front of the other guy. That's not going to work. And you don't want to do that anyway. Right? What you want to do is just be invisible, right? But if someone does see you, well, then you want to have numbers. Because let's say you're one guy, and you're one guy alone in the house, and you've got all your food, your water, and everything inside. And there's 50 people outside. Can you really fight against that? Can you really protect your home against that? I mean, you can say whatever you want, but if you really think about it, you got people surrounding you. They're going to torch your house and all your preps and everything because they don't think logically. They just look at what they do. Look what looters do, man. They'll smash up stores and shops that have nothing to do with whatever the hell they're mad about. You think they care? Hell no. So, I mean, they just look to damage stuff and steal and loot. I mean, they'll look at after Hurricane Katrina, they took TVs and radios that were soaked that didn't work anymore. But, hey, it wasn't nailed down, so they got to take it. The mob doesn't act rationally. And you can't defend yourself against that many. If you have a couple of them, there's a group of 10, let's say 15 or 20, and just a few of them have firearms. Are you going to be able to pinpoint the few guys with firearms right away? I doubt it. You don't know who's got it just, hiding a gun or something in the crack of their ass. In a coat, you don't know. You got 15 guys, it'll take just a second for something to go wrong. So if you insist on being that lone wolf, let me tell you what you got to do right now. You better be a hell of a good shot, and you better know how to scavenge for water, and you better, really consider cannibalism. Because there's no way one guy is going to walk around with all the food he needs, all the water, have it anywhere, whether it's a place he's held up in a place, or he's going to go around, his bug out bag and survive off of that. Because you're not going into the woods. There's too many people that are going to try that. They're going to deplete the small amount of animals out there, and then, hey, they're going to be looking at the person next to them. I mean, if you look at any starvation scenario, I mean, people, they almost always resort to cannibalism. So, I know on YouTube, half the comments I get are from, guys that are ex-special forces. They did that for 20 years, and they're like, 10th degree black belt. It's amazing how many of those badasses are on YouTube. But I want to see, or I guess I don't want to see, because, that means that shit hit the fan already, and I have to live in that world too. But, if it did happen, I want to see that. I wish I could be a fly on the wall and stare and, see how they act. got this comment, and this guy was talking about, I put a video, the economic collapse has started. Because here we go again, the market's going down, they're going to have to do a massive amount of quantitative easing. And I'm like, here we go, start doing getting your preps in line. And some guy was saying that if you're in his way from what he wants, well, then you get a shotgun to the face. Well, okay, that's pretty big talk. But think that's realistic? Or you think that the same guy typing that shit is going to pee his pants when something happens? Right? And besides that, I wasn't really too concerned. I stated my opinion and then I blocked him because, I can't stand idiots. But I wouldn't fear the guy that's going to mouth off and tell you what his negative plans. I worry about the one that's just watching this stuff. Which I know there are going to be some people watching. I understand that. But, I don't put my address or anything. I guess if somebody could locate me, that's fine. I'm not by myself. And, well, you know what? I can think that way too. I've thought about defense in some pretty aggressive ways that, would be highly illegal now. But if there's no law, man, somebody coming around here is going to have a surprise. You better watch where you step. You better watch all kinds of stuff like that. But, you better watch what you kick in because, well, that's all I'll say. I understand that. I have a small group with me, but, even then, there's only so much you can do. And this lone wolf approach, unless, you can find water in just about any situation, any place you dropped off in, unless you know all your edible plants, unless you're going to be eating insects and, assuming there's an abundant amount, or, you're willing to resort to cannibalism, then you're probably not going to make it on your own. If you're going to be the lone wolf, you need to travel quickly, quietly, and alone, right? So you can be quiet, fine, okay, that's great. But what are you going to do if you get attacked by a group of people in your sleep? Alone is alone, man. You better be a light sleeper. You better know all the edible plants. Be very resourceful. Be your own mechanic. Just about your own security expert. So, assuming there is one badass out there that can do all that, okay, great. Then maybe the lone wolf might work for you. But most likely somebody is going to see or notice that you have something, and they're going to come back with others. And 1, 2 guys, 3 maybe, there's no way you can fight off 15, 20. Now, the most you can do is take some of them out with you. I mean, that'd pretty much be it. If it really came down to it, if it was really that situation, well, of course I have my family. Of course I know what's going to happen to me. That's realistic. I mean, I know what's going to happen to me. I can just say, well, in my scenario, they'll come with 20, but they won't leave with 20. But on my own, there's no way. It'll be the same scenario anyway. Anyway, that's just my thoughts, man. You really got to learn to work with others, right? Like-minded. Be very careful who you talk to, who you prep with. Make sure they're doing the same thing, because if they're just talking about it and you're doing other preps, well, guess where they're coming? Make sure they don't have loose lips, because loose lips sink ships, man. But you can't do it alone. That's the hard reality. You cannot. You can't watch everything. You can't watch yourself when you sleep. If you have a dog or something, I guess that'd help you, but if you look at previous collapses, man, the dog winds up feeding a family sometimes. So that ain't going to work. They're going to come after you for the dog before they come out after you. So anyway, just my thoughts, man. Y'all have a good one.